All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are going to do a reaction to a video that was recommended to me through the comment section. It's from Basketball Universe called Destroying the Michael Jordan Critics One by One for the GOAT. And my man, you know me very well because you obviously knew this is a video I would want to watch. So, yep. Let's check this out together. This is now one of many videos I've done for Basketball Universe. Video quality is a little low, but the information in these videos is fantastic. I really love this this content creator's work. Anyways, as always, I'm going to link the original video down below in the description in case you want to watch the video without my commentary. I ask you to please leave this video a like. It will definitely help this video perform. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Here we go.
Do you have to believe that Michael Jordan is the GOAT? Absolutely not.
Agreed.
Some of the most knowledgeable people in basketball have their own opinions on who they think the greatest player of all time is. In fact, it makes these types of debates fun where there's a variety of opinions. But when you use false narratives to tear down Michael Jordan, that's when there's a problem.
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna really like this video. That is my problem, and that's what I'm doing in the comment section. The majority of the time is just hammering down lies. So the irony of it all is, you see me here on my channel. I make a lot of Michael Jordan videos because I think he's the greatest. You know, to me, he's the greatest of all time. So I'm making videos about him, talking about him, his career. The funny thing is that I found about LeBron fans is that they gave up talking up their guy. They know they can't win that way. So their whole strategy now is just to try to tear down Michael Jordan. Because if you can eliminate Michael Jordan, ooh, one guy rises up, and that's their guy. I'm not a fan of that strategy. All of the quote unquote LeBron hate that comes out of my channel is literally just a response to that, you know, just to show them, you know, a little taste of their own medicine. But if I had it my way, none of this would even exist. I'd just be talking about my favorite player, you know. But let's see. Let's debunk some of these lies.
And there are many ridiculous critiques on the near consensus GOAT. We're going to go one by one and tear each one of them down by using logic and numbers. The most popular one that we see is that Jordan went 1-9 in the playoffs before Scottie Pippen was drafted. In other words, people are disqualifying him for what he failed to do in the first 3 seasons of his career.
Yeah, it's a little tough when you're the 8th seed going against the greatest Celtics team of all time, but what do I know?
If we're using that logic, then poor Wemby. He's already disqualified for failing in his rookie season.
So true.
His team missed the playoffs, and the Spurs went 22-60.
And in that case, Kobe is disqualified because he spent the first couple of years on the bench, right? That's stupid logic. And then, yeah, how many years did it take LeBron to win an NBA Finals? A lot, right? So what? I don't know, man. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. They only use that argument against Michael Jordan, not against anybody else.
I guess those people don't have LeBron James as their GOAT.
Yeah,
his team
they do.
missed the playoffs in his first 2 seasons. At least the Bulls reached the playoffs.
Yep.
And what about
the team that drafted him was the Bulls, and every single year he played for the Bulls, they made the freaking playoffs. Even 2 years where he didn't play, he barely played at all. Only at the end of the season. That was his second season, and then his first comeback season in '94. Or 95 playoffs, 94 season. Yeah, complicated. Anyways, after his first retirement. But every single year that Michael Jordan was wearing a Chicago Bulls jersey, they made the playoffs. That was my point. Good, I mean, solid pick.
Kobe Bryant? He was coming off the bench for his first 2 seasons.
There we go.
What did he do to contribute to the Lakers' success? I seriously hope that you caught my sarcastic tone.
Yeah.
I believe it's foolish to put that much weight on what a player failed to do that early in their careers. But if you want to have a serious conversation on Jordan's supposed failures without Scottie Pippen, then we can break it down.
Yeah, let's do
In
it.
the 1983/84 season, the Bulls won 27 games. In Jordan's rookie season, they won 38 games.
All right, improvement of 11 games. Good start. They also made a shit ton of money that year as an organization because that was the hottest show. Executive Jerry. Okay, so Jerry Krause was already executive. Okay. Anything else? Nope. Okay.
Which is an 11-game improvement. They went from being the second worst team in the league to a playoff team.
Yeah.
And they were playing the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round, who won 59 games. Expecting a rookie to carry such a weak team to victory over a legitimate title
Sorry.
First round, who won 50 game improvement.
Hold on. I wanted to get back
the
to...
Bulls won 1983 without Scottie Pippen.
I just wanted to get to the standings. Hold on.
In the 1983/84 season, the Bulls won 27 games. In Jordan's rookie season, they won 38 games, which is an 11-game improvement. They went from being the second...
Okay. So... Okay, that's... Okay, well, no, that this is what I'm looking for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11...
second worst team in the league to a playoff team.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. God damn! So they weren't even the 8th seed. They came in as a 7 seed. Fuck. That's sick. What a turnaround. Just by adding one guy named Michael Jordan.
And they were playing the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round, who won 59 games. Expecting a rookie to carry such a weak team to victory over a legitimate title contender is beyond nonsense.
Right?
In the following season, he broke his foot and missed 64 games.
64 games, okay. Because I talk about this so often. I need to memorize this. So 64 games... It means he came back for 18 games. Okay, I've been saying it right, though. I've been saying 17 or 18 games. So, okay, so 18 games officially. That's all he played in his second season. And he's about to go up against the greatest Boston Celtics team of all time. Fresh off of injury.
With him gone, the Bulls won 30 games. If anything, this proves how little talent the Bulls had other than Michael Jordan.
And then they brought back Jordan because he forced his way back in. They didn't want to play him, so they gave him a minutes restriction.
They somehow reached the playoffs, and they faced what many consider the greatest team of all time. The Boston Celtics won 37 more games than the Bulls. Jordan averaged 43.7 points per game on 51% shooting against that team.
Yeah, imagine this. The Bulls at this time, well, they had one little baby Hall of Famer, and the Celtics... I think their whole starting 5 was Hall of Famers. Am I wrong? Dennis Johnson's in there too. I think the whole starting 5 is Hall of freaking Famers. If Bill Walton's in that lineup, then make that 6 Hall of Famers.
And they still couldn't win a game. Do you seriously want to blame Michael for that?
They do.
Check out what happened in the next season. Remember, we're talking about the same team that won 30 games with Jordan out with an injury. They lost their 4 best scoring options. Orlando Woolridge was traded for a second-round draft pick. Quentin Daly left to play for the Clippers. George Gervin left to play in Italy.
Yeah, that's when Iceman was he was old. It was the end of his career. It looks like they picked up Paxton though.
And Sidney Green was traded away for pieces that ended up being of no use. So this team that wasn't talented to begin with lost all of their best scorers. Who was called upon to help MJ on the offensive end? It was Charles Oakley, who was only in his second season.
Dude, I think Oak averaged like 8 points.
This team was so bad that the New York Times wrote that if Jordan concentrated on passing to the other Bulls, Chicago might finish 20-62, or 0-82.
Yeah, that's why people call him a ball hog. He was for the first couple of seasons. He had no one to pass to. If Charles Oakley is your best offensive player other than you, you're in trouble. And that's not supposed to be a diss at Charles Oakley. The guy, that's not his job. He was like a Udonis Haslem, but take away the jump shot and then add some more physical strength. Yeah, Oak, man. Oak, his main job was to protect Michael Jordan. So he'd go out there and just enforce, you know? And he was a good defender, good rebounder. But yeah, he's not going to be much help on the offensive end, man. Not happening. So yeah, early Jordan was a ball hog. He had to be. It was the only way they could possibly win games. Go back to Kobe. Maybe some of you young ones can remember this a little better. Kobe Bryant, the first like 2 to 3 seasons after Shaq left and Phil left, right? Well, okay. Phil didn't leave right away. Let's just say the first couple seasons after Shaq left, I believe that was 2004. So like starting with 2005. Yeah, Kobe was a freaking ball hog those seasons. Of course he was. How else were they going to make the freaking playoffs? You know, but then as the team built around him, he got guys like Pau Gasol, Ron Artest, Fishhead was back, you know, and others I'm not naming right now. Yeah, he passed the ball a lot more, of course. But when you're a leader like this and your job is to go out there and win games, if you don't have anybody decent to pass to, you got to put up some buckets. That's something I haven't seen LeBron James have to do. He always has to have his shooters around him, or else he's just not successful at all. But yeah, that's my take on that.
The only way they could remain competitive was if he won games by...
That's why he had to score 30. He increased it after this. It was like 37.4 or 5. So stupid, man. The guy exerted so much energy out there just to inch into the freaking playoffs, man. And then to go against one of the greatest teams of all time and then come back and do it again next season. Freaking willpower.
Himself. That led him to average his career high 37.1 points, which is still the highest average since the merger.
Yeah.
And again, they faced the Boston Celtics in the first round. You know, the team that had 5 Hall of Fame players.
Okay, 5.
One player cannot contend with that, no matter how good they are.
No.
In the next season,
no matter how you slice it, 1v5, you know, you could take 5 high schoolers against 1 Luka Doncic, and the 5 high schoolers are going to win. It's just the way it goes. It's just numbers.
The Bulls drafted Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant.
Yeah, this was a big
deal.
They
also traded for Sam Vincent, who was a sharp outside shooter. This was a season where they finally got out of the first round. How much did those 2 players contribute to the 1988 playoffs?
Oh, they barely contributed at all, but just their presence alone, I think it gave MJ some confidence that like, hey, we're building here, we're growing, we have potential. While the first couple seasons, he probably felt like zero hope. And Scottie Pippen definitely gave him some hope. Because Scottie Pippen, I mean, good thing you met Michael Jordan. Because you would have just been an average player, probably your entire career. But somehow Jordan picked him out from everybody. And the 2 of them were just like, what they would do in practice is ridiculous. You know, they challenge, you know, MJ challenged the hell out of Pippen. And in turn, Scottie eventually got really freaking good. And then started challenging Michael, and then the 2 of them just grew stronger together. It's freaking awesome how it all worked out. But yeah, I know Scottie's a little sour on MJ right now, and I'm a little sour on Scottie because of it. But really, they were an amazing duo, and most people who would have been pushed that hard by Michael Jordan would have ran for the hills. And I got to give Scottie some props. He stuck around. And he rose to the occasion. He was the number 2 guy that MJ needed.
Well, in that first round series, Jordan averaged 45.2 points per game.
God
while
damn.
Pippen and Grant averaged a combined 19.4 points.
Combined. Okay, so 9 each, 9.2 each.
Come
average.
on, people. The numbers clearly indicate that he didn't need Scottie Pippen to advance past the first round. Obviously not, because he was only a rookie.
He airballed that?
He just needed competent players
Yeah.
who could help a little on the offensive end.
Yeah, and help a
What
little
about
on
in
D.
1989, when the Bulls made the conference finals? How much did they contribute? Pippen averaged 13.1 points, and Grant averaged 10.8 points in the playoffs.
Wait,
Jordan averaged
can I go
38
back?
points in the Pippen averaged
13.
13.1 points, and Grant
Not bad.
averaged 10.8 points
Not bad.
in the playoffs.
I mean, granted, you recognize I'm saying not bad. Well, guys like LeBron James, again, he's surrounded by guys who get 20 a game. And if they don't, then their fans ream them. And it's crazy to me because he's getting a lot of help. But for MJ, I mean, early MJ, this is decent help. He didn't have to score 60-something points. You know, like this, he can score 40s.
Jordan averaged 34.8 points.
There you go, 35.
He also led the team in assists and steals. Doesn't that sound like a one-man show to you? If not, let's look at a historical comparison. Let's look at the 1994 Houston Rockets. You know, the team where we're all in agreement that they were a one-man show led by Hakeem Olajuwon. Their second leading scorer.
I never said that. I've never said that. But yeah, people do. People do. It's sad for Hakeem because they're trying to like show how great he is, but not really do that. They're just trying to bring MJ down, which shocks. It's disgusting. No, dude. Those Houston Rockets were for real. They were destroying my Suns year after year. They were deep.
Was Otis Thorpe, who averaged 14 points per game. And even Vernon Maxwell averaged more than Scottie.
There's the Suns.
He averaged 13.6 points for the 1994
against our best Suns team ever.
Playoffs. Now let's look at the
Mad
2001 Philadelphia 76ers. This team was led by Allen Iverson and a bunch of role players / defensive specialists. Aaron McKee and Dikembe Mutombo both averaged more points in the playoffs than Scottie Pippen
13
did.
and 14. Yeah, I'm going to be fair here, though. That's just not enough. You know, Allen Iverson did a lot with this with very little. That's why I still really respect the hell out of AI, because he did a lot with very little in the first half of his career.
Playoffs than Scottie Pippen did. This is the point that I'm trying to make. I believe it's common knowledge that a star player needs great teammates to win a championship.
Absolutely.
No one is denying that he couldn't do it without Pippen. But to say that he couldn't succeed without him.
It's not. Here's where I have a problem. They say he couldn't have done it without Pippen, but he couldn't have done it without a good number two guy. Somebody who was willing to play good defense and help on the offensive end. That's what he needed. Somebody who could get, 15 to 20 points a game, play solid defense, and, that's all he needed. He needed that. And, yeah. But it's not in particular Scottie Pippen. He just needed somebody to come in and fill that role. And Scottie did that very well.
Is completely missing the facts of the matter. Here's the next Jordan critique. There are some who believe that losing to the Detroit Pistons 3 years in a row should disqualify him as the GOAT. Now, I'm not going to sit here.
What about LeBron losing 6 finals? Isn't that worse? Losing to the Detroit Pistons the way they did made the Bulls who they are. Made Phil Jackson who he is as a coach. Made MJ the player he was. And the entire team got stronger and more united every single season because of it. And then once they climbed that mountain and overcame, there was no stopping them ever again. They had to retire. So, yeah, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. This argument is so stupid.
And discredit what the Pistons accomplished. They are a historically great team.
Yeah, that team was
played
sick.
Incredibly well together. Just as I mentioned about the Boston Celtics earlier, one great player wasn't going to be that team.
No. And people just say like it was Isaiah Thomas. If you caught the drunken top 5 video I made with my buddy the other day, man, he has no idea how good Joe Dumars is. This is like a 1A, 1B situation over there, plus a whole bunch of awesome role players like Dennis Rodman and, I hate Bill Laimbeer, but whatever, Mark Aguirre, and the list goes down. But the point being, it wasn't just one guy, Isaiah Thomas, going out there and winning. Dude, Joe D. If y'all don't know how good Joe D is, you're missing out. Joe Dumars was the real deal.
But is that enough to disqualify him? Are we taking away points for a player losing in the playoffs? I believe we shouldn't. Here's why.
No, if he choked, that's one thing. But if he's going out there balling out and losing, fair square, no. I won't take that away from anybody.
99% of all players that have ever played in the NBA lost more than they won. Unless your GOAT is Bill Russell,
Yeah.
that line of argument is simply flawed. The question that we should be really asking is, did Jordan cause the Bulls to lose?
Nope, never.
Did he deserve any of the blame? That is where we really go hard on the players.
Yeah.
Think of LeBron's performance
Thank you.
in the 2011 finals.
Thank you.
Kobe in the 2004 finals, or Magic Johnson in the 1984 finals. Let's look at the numbers for each playoff series. In 1988, Jordan averaged 27.4 points on 49% shooting.
God, to think he still shot 49% when he was getting thrown down to the ground anytime he came within like 6 feet from the basket. Amazing.
Remember, this was the same team that invented the Jordan rules and supposedly...
By the way, you see the guy who guards Michael Jordan in these series? It ain't Isaiah. That's Isaiah right there. That's a point guard. Joe D was the one.
shut him down. But that's not what the numbers say.
No, he didn't get shut down at all.
Instead, they did a great job of shutting down everyone else.
Yeah.
Their second leading scorer, Sam Vincent, averaged 12.8 points on 41% shooting. The Bulls were nowhere near as talented as the Pistons, and that's why they lost in 5 games. If that was the case...
Once again, one star is never going to beat a solid starting 5.
1988, then we can say the same in 1989. The Pistons won 63 games, while the Bulls won 47 games. It was almost the same story. Jordan averaged 29.7 points on 46% shooting.
Yep.
Their second leading scorer, Craig Hodges,
Oh, wow.
averaged 12 points on 45%
Craig Hodges. Was he doing that off the bench? I don't remember him starting back then.
shooting. In the following season, the Bulls finally had the talent to give the Pistons a fair fight. And how did they perform? If you look at the stat line, there were only 2 players who shot over 43% from the field. That was Michael Jordan and Charles Davis, who took a grand total of 1 shot.
Charles Davis? Okay. Oh, no. And played 1 game. Minutes played 2. 1 for 1 shooting. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Hey, man, he got a rebound, too? Hey. This guy did pretty good. He did good for 2 minutes. He got a basket and a rebound. Yeah, man. Who the hell? Who is this guy?
That series. On the other hand,
Actually, I'm sorry. Before I got too distracted because that was funny. I wanted to look at some other stuff here. All right. All right. Okay, so these are totals, not averages. All right, still that's still all right. Scottie Pippen. So Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant plus. No, okay, so those 2 combined, still not 1 Michael Jordan. But let's see. Let's look at other numbers here. Assists combined to 2, and they basically become a Michael Jordan. Total rebounds. There you go. That's where Horace Grant, that was his bread and butter, was his rebounds. So he was averaging in 7 games 82, so like about 11 a game. A little more than 11, something like that. But Jordan was still out rebounding Pip. And then field goal attempts. They don't show the field goal. Okay. Attempts and makes. 167 to 78, 94 to 40, 76 to 31. Horace shot terrible. Scotty shot around like 40%. Okay.
on the other hand, MJ averaged 32.1 points while leading the team in assists and steals.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Bulls lose because of him in those 3 seasons?
Nope.
No. Did he underperform
Nope.
at a shockingly low level where people question his individual greatness?
No, show us LeBron James 2011. Let's go.
In fact, he was the only reason the series in 1988 and 1989 were competitive.
Yeah, it's the only reason they had a shot.
The Pistons knew they couldn't contain him. The
What a
numbers
bank.
say they never
Look at that,
did.
no foul.
Instead, they contained everyone else, and that's why they lost. Once his teammates increased their level of play, they were able to crush the Detroit Pistons in 1991. I was able to break this down in this video, and I encourage everyone to watch it to get the full analysis of that series.
Oh, yeah, we reacted to that.
But there should be no shame in losing to a historically great team while you're the only strong scoring option.
Absolutely not. The shame would be if, okay, he kept losing to Detroit, and then he left Chicago and then joined a super team in order to beat Detroit. That would be the shame. That's the crime. What MJ did was stay, get stronger and stronger and stronger until he eventually beat him. That's the kind of stuff I respect. But dude, come on. If MJ would have if MJ would have left and then joined, say, Cleveland back then, just so he can beat the Pistons, or joined Boston or something like that to beat the freaking Pistons, or joined Philly, dude, nobody would respect MJ. They'd be like, yeah, you're cheating the system. But no, he actually did it the hard way, which is why, the whole LeBron James thing, it is what it is, man. 2010, couldn't get past Boston. What'd you have to do? Leave. You have to go join the champion in Dwayne Wade. And that was the only way you can do it. But then you still lost the championship, and that's why you get so much ridicule for that. Because he cheated the system and still lost. And then if you want to be even worse, what Kevin Durant would have done is join the freaking Pistons the next season. That's literally what that's why people respect KD so little. Could you imagine if Michael Jordan lost to the Pistons and then said, fuck it, sign me, and he joined the freaking Pistons? Nobody would respect him.
The next critique
I
said he
wouldn't.
was only a scorer.
Hell
he wasn't
no.
a great all-around player.
Best defending
Does
two
an
guard of all
all-around
time.
player just involve standing around in defense to grab the rebounds and dishing out a lot of assists? Or does all-around also involve playing both ends of the floor?
Yep.
Because in 1988, he was the only player to ever win the scoring title
And Defensive
and
Player of the
Defensive
Year.
Player of the Year in the same
Bang.
season. Oh, and by the way,
Yeah,
he was the
MVP.
MVP. Then in 1989, he averaged 32.5 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds. How many players in the history of the league have been able to match or surpass those numbers? Just one. That's Luka Doncic in this offensive-friendly league.
Yep.
Here's the difference, though. Jordan averaged 2.9 steals, while Luka averaged 1.4.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah. Okay. If this season Luka put up those numbers and won Defensive Player of the Year, or even first team all defense, holy shit. I talk up Luka too much already at this point, but if you pulled that off, I'd be like, okay, I've seen this before. How far can he go? But no, I'll bet most people who throughout history, it's not just a new thing, but most people throughout the history of the league are only dominant on one side of the game. Jordan was just that freak who was the best. All right, he's the best scoring two guard of all time, and he's the best defensive two guard of all time. In other words, the unanimous best two guard of all time. That's not normal. That's not normal. What's normal is being a Devin Booker or something, or a Luka, or a Steph. That's normal, where you're just dominant on one end, or a Dennis Rodman, or a Draymond, where you're just dominant on the defensive end, but you don't contribute much to scoring. That's normal.
Make Michael's stat line one of a kind. Then the 1991 finals, Jordan averaged 11.4 assists for the series.
Yeah.
Do you know how many players have averaged more assists in the finals?
I think he was making a statement there, too, because he was going against Magic Johnson. The best playmaker possibly all time. So I think he was making a statement.
Just one. That's Magic Johnson.
Yep.
Not even John Stockton, Jason Kidd, Chris Paul, LeBron James, Isaiah Thomas, Rajon Rondo, or Oscar Robinson have done better.
Really?
The reality is that he has always been.
Hold up.
Do you know how many players?
Hold up.
Jordan averaged 2.9 steals, while Luka averaged 1.4. That's what made Michael's stat line one of a kind.
Yeah.
Then the 1991 finals, Jordan averaged 11.4 assists for the...
Okay, so Basketball Universe is saying the only person to average more assists in an NBA Finals than Michael Jordan is Magic freaking Johnson at 11.4 for MJ? For real?
series. Do you know how many players have averaged more assists in the finals?
Holy shit.
Just one.
Holy
That's
shit.
Magic Johnson.
I didn't know this one.
Not even John Stockton, Jason Kidd, Chris Paul, LeBron James,
Forget them.
Isaiah Thomas, Rajon Rondo, or Oscar
I
Robinson
can't believe John Stockton didn't do it in those two finals. Wow.
have done better. The reality is that he has always been more than just a scorer.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Jordan's competition wasn't the same as the players now. Really? Because in the 1988 season, where he won his first MVP, he was competing against Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Dominique Wilkins, Patrick Ewing, and Clyde Drexler.
Clyde.
All of them were in their prime. All of them recorded great numbers. None of them could compete with what MJ was accomplishing. Then we have the 90s decade.
Jerry Seinfeld.
The younger fans might be done with it, but that may be because they are scared of the truth.
Yeah.
Do you know how many teams in those 10 years won over 50 games? 78. And we're taking away the 1999 season because of the lockout. We're halfway through this decade, and there have only been 25 teams that have won over 50 games.
Yeah, they're all load managing and shit these days.
I don't know about you, but it seems like one era of basketball was much more competitive than the other. And in that era, Jordan's teams dominated. That's all I know, but that's enough for me. Now it's time for you all to weigh in. How would you respond to each of these criticisms? What are some of the crazy things that you have heard people say that simply knock MJ off the GOAT position? Let me know in the comments.
Basketball Universe.
Thanks for watching.
We'd have to have pictures and pictures and pictures of beer and a whole night ahead of us for me to share some of the bullshit I see in my comments of people trying to tear down Michael Jordan. It would never end. It would never end. Wow. I am quickly becoming a huge fan of this channel. Thank you for the recommendation to watch this. This was fantastic. Son of a bitch. Old dog learned a couple of new things too. I had no idea about that assist record in the finals. Well, not the record, but him being him putting up the second best assist performance in the NBA Finals history. Had no freaking idea. So thank you. Yeah, chime in, everybody. MJ lovers, MJ haters, do your thing. Let me know what you thought about the video. Yeah, what do you think about these ridiculous arguments that are being used against MJ? One more I'd like to add on to it is, the Orlando Magic defeat when MJ came back from his first retirement. The Basketball Universe didn't talk about that one. I see that very often in my comment section, which is stupid. I've talked about it before, so I don't need to talk about it again. Just came out of retirement, out of shape, played about 18 games. What the fuck did you expect from the guy? Going against Prime Shaq and Penny. Anyways, let me know what you thought about the video, you guys, and my reaction. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. If you didn't enjoy it, leave a dislike. I do see those things. And subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. I'd appreciate it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.